I'm Kid Yume. I am one of the key contributors to the Bottom Feeder's WebSocket module. Essentially, what this module enables is the connection to a remote server to enable real-time notifications. For the sake of this module, for the sake of showing what real-time is and so that everybody could actually give it a try, I went ahead and used Pusher services and Amazon services for the purposes of this demonstration. All right, so let's kind of dive into a WebSocket real quick. Essentially, for real-time communication, everything will be done on the spot. I found myself needing this when I created this inventory management system for this warehouse. And it was cool because as they were taking products out or moving products, it would be a live simulation of what they have and what they don't have, even as workers are using it, at that moment in time, and they're storing, with the barcode reader. Now you're storing products, and you have a legitimate, up to date count of your inventory. So for this project, I'm going to show how maybe using real time in a news feed, you can come up with your own ways, and you can do messaging. It's awesome. So let's go ahead and dive into it and start this up. For WebSockets to work, you're going to have to give the module a URL. And once you give it a URL, you go ahead and you connect to that URL. For the concept of this pusher project, once you're connected, you actually get a socket ID. And with that socket ID, you're going to need it to authenticate once you start start creating and joining the private channels. You can join public channels, but here's the issue with public channels on Pusher. With public channels, you are unable to send events through the WebSocket. So that means you would have to use a API and post to the servers via a XHR request. And that, sometimes that can be a hassle. Now not only is your phone, receiving these events, now you have another request going out. It could be a little bit more of stress on the process, which is less room for error, less coding. It's just easier to go ahead and assign a signature to your messages and join a private channel. Again, documentation for a lot of these things are actually on the GitHub under my PipeSocket project. So let's just go ahead and create a private channel now. And you have to prefix it with the private and the hyphen in Pusher in order to signify a private channel. So once created, this log is going to keep track of all the messages, whether it was successful or there was an error generated. In this instance, I didn't have any errors. It created the channel and it worked great. Now let's go ahead and send a test message to it. To my right over here, I actually have this is actually my iPhone. So I have an app on my iPhone that I created a little news feed here so that you can see what happens when I send a message from the simulator to the Pusher services. Pusher will then broadcast that message to every connected device, and when that happens, it's going to instantly appear onto my news feed, which is kind of cool. So here we're going to go ahead and let's just do another one for the fun of it. Just say yo, yo, yo. Now notice how it's not coming up in our logs when we send messages. And that is because Pusher automatically does not echo a message back to the device that sent the message is from. So it's like sending mail out. If you want to send a piece of mail out to 1,000 other people, they're not going to send that same piece of mail back to you. But from the phone, we can go ahead and say, and we actually see it come up in our log as an incoming message. So it's really interesting to see how quickly and just how efficient real time it can be. You can even send message objects. You can send photos. You can send whatever binary data through this as well. So it's really useful, and to me, it's one of the best features we have available in our day and age. and to put in your apps. Users love this kind of integration. Look at Snapchat, for instance. Everything is kind of real time with that. So and while we're on that note, the biggest thing with Snapchat is the messaging system. When messages, there's no history, there's no log, and there's no going back. And here we actually suffer the same issue. So if somebody was to hop onto this news feed, unless they knew or unless they were there for the conversation, it doesn't exist anymore technically. So to fix this, Pusher actually enables webhooks, what they call webhooks. You can give it you submit a URL, and it forwards the events that take place to that URL. In my case, I used Amazon Zapier to create that webhook URL, and it takes in the URL, processes the JSON request, and runs it through a Python script that I created that I also included onto the PipeSocket project, and stores it to the Accelerator database, Arrow database. And if I come here and I just refresh, we now will see the messages that have been recently sent. Of course, this is going to take a little bit to load. So after refreshing, we're going to go ahead and now see the messages that we just sent. Hello, on the phone, yo, 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 and even, hello, this is Tess from Simulator. So now we have a way for when a user comes in, it can query the Arrow database and get maybe the history of the last 10 messages so that they can stay up to date with whatever conversation is being had. So I was kind of excited to show you guys this. This is kind of, this is one of our projects, bottom feeders, that is. If you guys would like, we are currently looking for captains to we support developers. So if the developer has a question or if a developer needs help, they can contact one of us, our services, even if it's a student at a school who's doing a computer science project, and we aim to help. That's all. We really want to help. We really want to help push this technology age that we're in. And we're not looking to replace like Stack Overflow or anything like that. It's just that when you'll post questions on there, and unless you're out there actively trying to find someone to answer your question can be up there for days, and you have to go through other forums. So we're hoping to eliminate that. And if this is something that you guys can see yourselves supporting and you like, on our GitHub, join our organization, like our Facebook page, and even purchase. We started a t-shirt campaign. The link will be in the bio. Go ahead and give it a shot. Buy a shirt from us and become a bottom feeder. Welcome to Bottom Feeders. I appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch my video. Again, all the resources for this will be on GitHub under the PipeSocket project. So if you have any questions or if you need anything, don't hesitate to contact me. Again, this is Kid Yume, and I'm out. Bye.